Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on New Player Has Joined, Keith and Jesse talked to Dr. Christopher Hale about getting involved with the Sister District Project. They also discuss fascism in gaming and Echo the Dolphin. On The Boogie Monster, Dave Stone and Kyle Kinane talk about exploration and treasure hunting, the protests, and redefining policing. On Office Hours Live, Tim Heidecker, DJ Doug Pound, and Vic Berger are joined by Thundercat and Z from Black Socialists in America. Listen to this episode to find out how you can help Office Hours raise funds for the Black Lives Matter Global Fund. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for a full list of our shows, featuring hosts like Monet Exchange, Bob the Drag Queen, and Amanda Seals. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show, and remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Starburns Audio.
Dan and Ran and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-hosts Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you. Population Ian Black. Michael Ian Black. Hi, buddy.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Are you good? Good to see you. I know there's a little delay. You're up in the woods of Connecticut. We appreciate having you on so much. Randy and I were trying to think, is there somebody who for a longer period of time in our lives has made us laugh as much as Michael Ian Black? I don't think so. I would say Michael Showalter. Is that the two of you guys, Michael and Michael?
Yeah. That's a better choice than me. Well, the thing is, I've known you guys forever, so just by seniority, I feel like I would. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, no, you've
known each other for a long time,
dude.
It's not necessarily quality; it's entirely about quantity.
You're one of the few people we've used in every single project we've ever done, and you've never used us once. I'm kidding. Oh, yeah.
So both of your projects?
Yes. Wow, that hurt. Folks. That hurt. Ouch. But yes. One of them multiple times. So there you go. Boom. In your face. Or congratulations.
I was never on the MTV show, I don't think. The Apartment 7.
Apartment 2F. No, you weren't.
Whatever it was.
You should have been.
I think you had been blackballed by MTV at that point.
You had been Michael Ian blackballed.
Yep.
That's a specific kind of blackballing, just for you.
It's better than being Michael Ian blueballed.
That's right. Thank you. That would have been if we auditioned you, gave you the part, and then said, no, we're not going to. Listen, we think the world's getting dumber. I don't know if you agree with that, or is it that dumber is getting louder and we're just seeing it more?
I think we're just seeing it more. I think the world's always been a stupid, stupid place filled with stupid, stupid people. And I'm including myself among them.
Yeah, I think we all would strive to be smarter and better, but there definitely seems to be a rise in the voice of dumb. Just ask Randy, who's getting into a fight with someone right now on Nextdoor.com. I'm into a fight with someone on Nextdoor.com. I don't know if you have Nextdoor.com up in Connecticut. It's terrible.
I mean, we have the com part, and I have people next door,
right,
but I don't have those two ideas connected.
It's a good idea not to.
Imagine a message board for nosy people who have too much time on their hands in your neighborhood. Remember your neighbors who would walk up.
Is it called Twitter?
Yeah, almost. It's like Twitter, but local Twitter. So it's dumb. We get stories sent to us, Michael, from our fans, and Dan has barely broken them down. We have not heard them at all. Let's jump into one right away. You cool with that?
Yeah, but I want to know why you're fighting with your neighbor.
Oh, she's terrible. Because my kids made signs that said, we see you, and basically talking to communities in crisis.
So wait, your kids your kids are watching your neighbor and making signs about it?
That is how it sounded.
That's horrible.
My kids made signs supporting communities in crisis and hung them up, and then someone tore them down in a bizarre moment where the person tearing him down sent his dog to attack another woman who confronted him. And my wife wrote a comment back that's terrible. And then someone jumped in and started to attack my wife. And then I said, oh shit, I'm joining nextdoor.com and I'm now in this fray.
You done fucked with a comedian.
That's right. And so I was like, you don't want any of the smoke and heat that's about to come. You don't want any part of this discussion. And then I proceeded to, over the course of the rest of the day, find every single comment that she made. And
Well, it sounds like it's going well.
It's going very well. It's super productive.
It felt cathartic, is what I'm saying.
Hey, you know what else feels cathartic? Our stories on our show. And we got
All right,
Michael
let's do
Ian
it.
Black, so let's do one.
Okay, this was sent in by Jameser Bensonamum. I tried. At Cyril Fagus. I don't know what that means. I hope
Sounds
it's not
like a
offensive.
slur, but
If it's
okay.
problematic. It wasn't my intention.
Okay.
Either way, they sent this to me at Daniel Van Kirk, #Dumb People Town. Do that the same if you have a story that you think would be fun. I'm going to read you guys the headline because it's great.
Okay.
Men hired for sexual fantasy break into wrong house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that part of the fantasy?
Is
To
the
have them
fantasy
go
That
like-
was my first question.
break into the wrong house and now I get off on that? There's probably a website for that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For wrong house break-ins?
Mm-hmm. You, me, B, and E. So, .com.
I'm gonna do that porn search. Wrong
For
house.
Wrong house.
Wrong
Is
house
that a
porn.
euphemism for anal?
Could be.
Well, Backdoor.com. That's a
wrong
different
house. different.
Right.
than Nextdoor.com.
That
It's
might
Backdoor.
be a euphemism for in the ear.
In a sex fantasy gone wrong, 2 men with machetes entered the wrong house in New South Wales, Australia, before quickly realizing their area. First off, they say so many things can kill you in Australia, but who's planning for a sex fantasy gone wrong in the middle of the night? Like, that is up
Who
there
is
for
bringing
Australia.
a machete to a sex fantasy?
Someone who's planning on going into the bush, folks.
Okay.
I'm out.
Jason, at Sklar Brothers for everybody who has a feeling about that joke.
Hey, have you been to Australia, Michael?
No, I've never been. Have you been?
No,
No, neither have
I
I.
have been.
Jay's been.
Not to do comedy, but I went with my wife before our first child was born, while she was pregnant. It was the coolest, most amazing place. I loved it,
Mhm.
but I could totally see something like this happening there because every single person in Australia brags about how much they drink.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a
And they do talk a lot about how everything can kill you.
everything can kill you. They're like, have you seen the spider that like ate the cow? We're like, no, but now I'm scared of that.
Right.
I.
Also, I love the sentence where they say before quickly realizing their error. Wouldn't you love to like be in that moment? Because how quickly did they realize this person didn't want us to machete fuck them?
When they jumped into a 7-year-old's room, maybe.
Bust in through the door.
Mhm.
You look around, machete raised, and then boom.
Right. They're like, I thought this was supposed to be a closed concept home. All right. One of them, that is one of the sex fantasy makers, has now been acquitted of entering a home armed with a weapon in July of 2019. So this is the court results of this happening.
Oh, good.
They'd been hired to carry out the client's fantasy by being tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom, which we now know means hit. The judge concluded that the facts in this case are unusual. I mean,
You
no
think?
shit. Yeah. The role play was arranged over Facebook by a man near Griffith, South Wales, who provided his address to the hired pair. Don't give your address to anyone on Facebook.
That can't end well.
Have you ever had a good interaction on Facebook, Mike?
Are you on Facebook?
I'm not on Facebook, but I'm feeling really, really dumb about tweeting my social security number right now.
Oh my
Hey,
God!
don't
Don't
do
do
that.
it.
Do
Don't.
not.
You have a lot of followers. Don't do it.
You're going to get in a sex
I
fantasy.
know, but somebody asked.
Oh,
I didn't wanna-
do
I
not.
didn't want to be
That
rude.
sounds- Jeez.
Maybe that's. you
Can we
gotta
blame
listen.
Mark Zuckerberg for this Facebook issue?
Also, if they
can you if you have the address and you're not Google mapping
Cannot
it?
make this work.
No, you're making it work. You're
You
with us,
sound
brother.
good. You're with us.
Yeah. If you have the address, why was there a problem getting to the house?
I think just the Google map of it all was
No.
you Google map when you drive places. Am I right, or do you let the navigation?
What are you,
do it?
Byron Allen?
He's got a great Google Map bit. Let him do his Google Map bit.
I only use pirate maps, which makes things super hard because unless I'm specifically looking for buried treasure,
It's
I never reach my destination.
right. It's always drive to the palm tree, go past
Right.
the
So
X.
I had a dentist appointment
Yeah.
last week,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, bad news is I didn't make the dentist appointment.
Good news is
I found a chest of Spanish doubloons.
fantastic.
Now, Jason, you love Spanish food. You had something you wanted to say
This
about
is Dan
Spanish.
being Byron Allen.
My man.
By the way, I have a
why
great.
is it that Spanish food always make me go like this? Okay.
By the way, I have a great Google Maps bit. I just have to search for it. Hang on
Okay.
one second.
Folks.
At Sklar Brothers. Jesus. All right. So this guy goes on Facebook, finds two people who own machetes, which as far as I can tell is the only criteria they have for
But
holding.
Dan.
They have no sense of direction.
Everyone in Australia probably owns a machete.
That's true.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm guessing these two guys aren't part of a sexual fantasy, like a company. It's not like sex grams. These are just two
Great company.
guys that he finds. You know what I mean? Like these, like had you gone through an agency, now you can like start to have a protocol and you can start to ask for money back.
You know, your usual sex torture agency.
Yes. Flowers, chocolate, sex torture.
According to the
Right.
judge, this guy who wanted these two men to come over with knives and sex torture him and get stroked by a broom, he was willing to pay how much if it was really good? That's in quotes. So the guy said he was willing to pay blank amount if it was really good. How much do you think it cost for a two-person machete sex fantasy to come into your house? You are our guest, Michael Ian Black. You can go first, you can go Tig, which is second, or you can go third, whichever position you want to go.
I'll go first.
Okay.
How much do you think in US dollars?
$35.
$35.
So specific. Jay, what do you think?
I'm going to say $200.
$200.
200 American dollars.
I'm going to say $323.
Okay. Townies, wherever you are, play along with us as we get through this time together, because he was willing to pay, quote, if it was really good in American dollars, $3,467.
You got to get him there. I got to get a machete.
I mean, that's a good gig.
That's why they always say the machete will pay for itself.
I told you. That's what the guy said as they're driving over. I told you these machetes would pay for themselves. Exactly.
I feel like it was probably $3,000 for the whole experience, an extra $400 for the broom stroke.
The problem is there's only one person in the entire country of Australia that wants to have this done. So you better be really good, and then you can have business doing it. But like, it's not like you can look at it and be like, okay, so we made 3,000 this time.
Right.
We're gonna make 3,000 next week. You know how you do that with? You're like, oh, well.
But see, then I wonder this, because that was their number for these two guys that I go with Jason, that they do not belong to a professional agency.
No.
Yeah.
What is the least amount of money any of us could get paid to go hit somebody with a broom and break into their house? What's the least amount of money? Would you do it for $5,000?
Yeah, I couldn't do it for less than 10 grand.
Really?
20 for me.
So I'm allowed to break into somebody's house.
Tie them up. You don't have to do anything sexual. You're just tying them up and hitting them with a broom.
Yeah, and I get to carry a machete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably business casual, I would guess. So
I was
wear whatever,
assuming
Yes.
biz cash.
Yeah.
could wear whatever I want.
That's a thing for him.
$35.
I don't know. So I'll go with the same $35. I'll do it for $35.
It's actually
$35, by the way, a number that could easily be vended.
But
Plus gas.
plus
For
gas.
sure.
Fair.
Yeah. Get your miles. Get your miles.
Yeah, I mean that's obvious.
Well, here's where the problem came in, because the client moved to another address 30 miles away without updating the two men. How long had they planned this?
that is
Look, in 6 months, because I really want to forget that I set this up.
and
What if
he's leaving his house. He's looking
What
around.
am I
He's like,
forgetting
what
to
am
do?
I forgetting?
I've canceled the cable. I've canceled the internet.
I did a forward of address for all of my
What am
utilities
I-
bill.
It sounds like the person used to live at that house.
Yes, they did. And then they
They
moved and didn't
fulfilled-
tell their sex people.
I feel like they fulfilled at least half of the contract and should get at least half of the money.
They
That's
should get
right.
all of the money.
100%.
They broke into the address you gave them.
Right.
Right.
When the resident, okay, so here's what happened. So he doesn't tell people that he moved.
Yes.
And
So then,
they
wait a
go-
minute. I know you're going to get to this, but this brings up a very interesting discussion because now can the current residents of the house sue or blame the old guy for giving the
100%.
address?
You sent people to this location.
I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
It says here, so they entered the home on the street of the original address when
Through
the
the back
resident
door.
or victim, I should say, because they didn't sign up for this.
This feels like an old Chevy Chase Goldie Hawn movie.
When the resident noticed a light on in his kitchen at 6:15, he assumed it was a friend who came by to make their morning
You hit
coffee.
him with a broom.
Yeah. So hold on, let's think about this. This new person living in this house wakes up at 6 a.m, sees a light on in their kitchen that is not from them, and it's like, oh, one of my friends probably came over to make coffee.
You know, Michael, how when you wake up in the morning and you see a light on, you just assume that one of your friends uninvited came over to make
Into your
coffee.
fucking house.
Right.
Yeah.
When the men called out the name of their client that they thought they were there to gleefully
Jeffrey?
attack, the resident turned on the light and removed a sleep apnea mask that he was wearing. This guy's got enough problems.
So he comes downstairs looking like Bane.
Yeah, he's got like an alien face hugger on, and he thinks his buddy's making coffee. And turns out there's two dudes with machetes ready to go to Broomtown on his ass.
By the way, Broomtown sounds like every hour-long drama that only lasted 3 episodes on CBS in '99.
I thought you were going to say Broomtown is the spinoff to Rizzoli and Isles.
It is.
Okay.
His fantasy is taking place at 6:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a bad time for them to show up and do this. Show up around 1:30 in the morning.
Who's ready for love at 6:15 a.m.?
I mean, if you wanted the real treatment, though, this is when you get abducted. It's not on
Surprise.
your schedule.
It's a surprise attack.
I honestly feel like that's not peak abduction time.
Right. Because the abductors have to get up so early.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the abductors, they're like, all right, just be ready to go at 4:30.
Right.
So it means you have to be up at 4.
Right.
No, I got a shower, so really
So that's
3:45.
my question. Do you shower for if you're gonna perform an abduction? Do you shower?
This is like my mother-in-law. She has like a 9 a.m. flight, and she's like, I got to get up at 3:45 in the morning. I'm like, 3:45. She's like, I have to shower. Maybe I'll get
too
on the
much.
bike for 30 minutes. I'm like, on the bike? You what? Why? She's like, then I got to be there at 6. And
Wait, you're
And
gonna
you're
shower
gonna-
before the bike?
and then I shower after the bike. She likes to shower before the bike and after the bike, and she needs
And
time
are you
for all
really
of it.
going to break into somebody's house and tie them up and hit them with a broom on an empty stomach? I don't think so.
Great point. You got that.
You're not going to stretch. You aren't going to stretch.
All right, that's another 20 minutes.
It's 20 more minutes.
6:15 abduction. Really, you gotta go. You gotta back time it to like 2:45.
2 a.m.
Right. Are they doing overnight lane closures?
I don't know. I mean, you're certainly laying out your clothes the night before. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to. You don't even have to think about that.
No, not at all. And when are you going to clean your blade? Because you can't do it the
No,
morning.
you're right. You're cleaning your blade the night before. You're laying out your clothes the night before.
Mhm.
You're probably gassing up the car the night before.
100%.
because
Are you
don't
going
know-
to use your broom? What if you break the broom?
Yeah.
So do you want
Right.
to use a broom you don't care about?
And bring a backup room. And you know what? Bring a Swiffer just in case.
Just in case. What are we tying them up with? This never ends.
This is like the
Right.
logistical aspect
Maybe
of
it
what
is worth $3,000.
It is. 3,000 might not be enough.
Who's supplying the rope?
That's right.
That better have been clarified?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So it was then. So the victim hears his name, the name called out, which isn't his name, turns on the light, removes a sleep apnea mask. It was then that he saw them standing over his bed with machetes, which they appeared to have brought as props for the role play.
Oh my
When
God.
they realized their error, one of the pair said, "Sorry, mate," and shook the resident's hand. That is the most awkward handshake. We're good, right?
Hi.
Yeah, it's a very like George Bailey, Old Man Potter shake.
Yes.
The two
There's
men.
that. Well, you know what's funny is there's that moment where if you're carrying a machete,
Yeah.
you're probably carrying it in your right hand, your dominant hand.
That's right. So you got to
he has
switch it.
to shake hands. He has to like move the machete into his other hand
Mhm.
and extend it in peace and be like, sorry, mate.
Right, which means in that
My
other
bad.
hand, he's holding now awkwardly the machete and the broom, trying to like hold.
And they're like forming an X. One's going one way, one's going the other way, and it's like,
Will help. This is what it gets.
Or he does the terrible move of keeping the machete in the right hand and shaking with his left, which is
no
one's good at that.
Yeah.
Nobody's good at that.
This is where it gets good, believe it or not. So the two men then drove to the correct address, which means they jumped on Facebook and were like, buddy,
Where are you?
where the client noticed that one man had a great big knife in his trousers. And so he asked the men to leave their weapons in the car. So now the guy who's paid them is like, no on the weapons, put those back in the car.
Yeah.
At that point, they go back into the guy's house, the new address at the right house with the right client. And the client then cooked bacon, eggs, and noodles. And a short time later, the police arrived at the property, found the machetes in the car, and arrested the pair. So the guy's like, look, we lost the abduction. It's almost 7 a.m. by now. I'm up. You're here.
Let's just have the classic breakfast of bacon and noodles.
Noodles.
The old bacon. I love also a trouser machete.
For sure.
For a name for an Australian penis, trouser machete. That's right there.
The judge ruled that the evidence did not suggest that the men's actions were intentional, at least to the victim. They carried the machetes either as prop or something to use in that fantasy, the judge said. The fantasy was unscripted and there was discretion as to how it would be carried out. So it's an improv.
It's improv.
It's improv.
I need a location. Yes.
Guys, we are
Thank
knives
God
like
that
us.
Thank God that judge had passed level 2 at UCB.
Thank
Because
God.
otherwise,
I know.
It's like and the judge did say to them in sentencing, play the problem, not the solution.
That's right.
Hi guys, we are Knives Pout. We are a improv group. A lawyer for Terrence Leroy, perfect. One of the accused said
2 first names.
it was a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom. Entry was not with intent to intimidate.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think the original guy should be charged.
Yes. That
Who?
guy who set it up and made the
who
mistake.
set it up and moved
you
it.
made
Yeah.
a mistake and you put this other guy
in
in
danger.
And
You know what's crazy is if he gets charged, they're probably going to strip him down. He goes to jail,
Yeah.
and someone's going to tie him
Someone
up.
tie him up and beat him with a broom. You never know.
Well, they'll do something with a broom. I don't know if it's necessarily beating him.
All right, is that
all
our
right.
first story?
That's story number 1.
Okay, story number 1 down in the books. Michael Ian Black is with us, and I'm so happy he is. This is the beauty of being in a quarantine of sorts, is that we get people who are on the East Coast to be able to be on this show right now. I love him. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, it's me, Daniel Van Kirk, along with
Randy
Yes,
and Jason.
I
There we
know.
go.
And we want to talk to you about somebody who's supporting us. You can support them, and then everybody wins, especially if you are one out of the 2 out of 3 guys who will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they are 35.
We got 3 out of 3 right here.
The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. And that is where Keeps comes in. Keeps is great. You used to have to go to the doctor's office for your hair loss prescription. Now, thanks to medication delivered right to your home. And what a great time for that. Like to just
So
have
you're
it
being
come right to you.
responsible.
Yes.
You're being responsible about it, and you're taking
Yes,
care of an
you're
issue.
caring about yourself and other people
Thank
at
you
the
for
same
doing
exact
that.
time.
Thank you, Keeps.
You visit your doctor online, right? And like I said, you get it delivered to your home.
Yes.
They make it easy and deliver your medication every 3 months so you can say goodbye to pharmacy checkout lines, awkward doctor visits, or just being in any sort of public space that you don't feel comfortable right now.
Correct.
So here's what I love about it is they also, people are going through financial issues right now. And so Keeps is so reasonable. They offer generic versions of the only 2 FDA approved hair loss products out there. You may have tried them before, but you've never tried them at this price. So again, they're thinking about you staying home. They're thinking about you from a cost perspective, and they're solving a problem.
And it takes, it could take like 4 to 6 months to like start really seeing results. So don't waste time because time still flies. And in a few months from now, you're like, man, I should have started that. Start it right now. Start getting control of your hair. It works for so many men, and it'll save the hair that you currently do have, which is really, really key. So find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. Keeps treatments start at just $10 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can start your first month free.
I love it.
So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/DPT to receive your first month of treatment for free.
That's keeps.com/DPT, keeps.com/DPT. First month free. It doesn't hurt to try it. And I'm telling you, I wish Keeps was around when I was younger.
Yes.
Because this is fantastic and for the right price. Thank you, Keeps, for sponsoring us. Go support them. Guys, I want to talk to you about something that's super important, your mental health. We know that right now everyone has a general level of anxiety in their world, and now added on top of that is the world anxiety, the world of anxiety that has been placed on all of our shoulders because of this pandemic, whether it be economic issues, whether it be social issues, whether it be general anxiety stuff that we all feel. We're building. All you have to do is scroll through your phone and you can start to feel that anxiety. And whether you're in a house that is making you more anxious or you're quarantining alone and that loneliness is very difficult, we want to make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. And that's why I love that we have this sponsor, Talkspace. They're amazing. They're an online therapy and they are more committed than ever to expanding access for anyone who is struggling right now. With Talkspace, you get the support of a licensed therapist from the safety of your own home and can reach out from your device whenever something is on your mind. You can send a therapist text, audio, picture, or video messages from your phone or computer 24/7 as thousands of licensed therapists are there to help you out. They'll match you with one that can. And look, I know my wife's practice has grown in the time of this pandemic, mainly because people are needing that connection and needing that outlet and needing that resource. I love Talkspace because they have thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including the ones that are the most important right now: anxiety, depression, relationship issues, the things that keep you up at night. They're going to help you out. Once you're matched, you can begin your therapy the exact same day. This is really good. So in honor of Mental Health Month, Talkspace is online therapy committed to fostering a global community. They get it. That's the bottom line. You deserve support. You deserve not to have to struggle anymore on your own. Your Talkspace therapist can be your dedicated support system, there to make you feel healthier. That's right. And more empowered even in these uncertain times. As a listener of our podcast, you get $100 off your first month of Talkspace. To match with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com or download the app. Make sure you use the code SCLAR. It gets you $100 off and lets them know that we sent you there. That's SCLAR at Talkspace.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We have Michael Ian Black, who is a wonderful follow on both Instagram and Twitter. Can you tell people your handle so people can follow you?
Michael Ian Black.
Beautiful. Right. Do that. And I want to say that he has written, so among many things that you've written, including movies and TV and all that stuff, you wrote a children's book called I'm Bored, correct? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so one of the ways I got reconnected with Michael for this very podcast is my son, part of his at-home learning assignments are to watch our librarian for our school, who used to be a stand-up comedian.
Always a good mix. Always.
No,
good.
she looks like a librarian from the 1960s, and she is.
But then when she takes off her glasses and lets down her hair, she is like hot.
No,
okay.
She looks like a librarian. She is the most like prudish woman ever, and she used to be a comedian. And so whenever we do the comedy night for our school, I always try to like
get her to do 5.
No, I always speculate that her material is like the dirtiest. Like all of it is about anal. All of it. So it's hilarious. Anyway, she's sitting there reading this book, and she's like, the book that I'm about to read is from a Michael Ian something or other. Now I'm in the background.
What kind of comic is she?
I look up and I'm like, Michael Ian something or other. That's I bored.
She's a librarian. She can't read the word black.
Yes.
I know. Also, like,
because
she doesn't see black.
It wasn't like
she doesn't see color.
That
it also
makes sense.
like. It also is not like there's 4 more names after that. It took you longer to say something.
I love Miss Myrtle, and she did make a mistake.
Michael
but it was
Ian McKellum.
But then she got it right, and then I said Michael Ian Black, and then my son, who had seen this video before and was like, I love this book, and then we sat and watched it, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to write to you. So I sent the video.
That's awesome.
And reconnected. So people can get your books, people can follow you.
I remember you wrote a book about Donald Trump being elected president before he got elected, and it was like a joke of how bad it would be if he would be elected, and then it happened. And I, for a while, blamed you.
Oh, that was also, that's called a child's first book of Trump, and that's also, it's written as a children's book, but that children's book was not really intended to be a children's book,
right?
But I'm Bored. Certainly was.
Yes, it's a great kids book,
dude. You're so great. All the things that anything you've ever been a part of has been something that, you know, from the state to
Stella.
Not my marriage. Not
Stella,
my marriage.
your marriage.
No, not
Your
that.
marriage
Randy.
has been very funny. Give it some credit for the
Viva
laughs.
Variety.
Viva Variety. Yeah.
How many people?
You guys were at my wedding, as my wife reminds me.
I was at your wedding.
both were.
were.
We
It was a
both at the
beautiful
church
wedding.
on, was it 22nd and 2nd?
It's 98, so 22 years ago.
Yeah, but what year, what street was it? 22nd and 2nd?
Oh, it was on the wedding was on 22nd Street. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
very
remember
good.
it. It was
Memory,
beautiful.
Beautiful church, beautiful wedding, and it did make us feel really. We were like really genuinely touched that we were invited to be at that wedding. So thank you.
Well, what had happened was we had prepaid for a certain number of meals, and then some people dropped.
Got
That's
it.
great.
Got it. Yep.
And that's why we were touched.
We were like seat fillers at the Oscars. It felt good.
so much thought. When Ken Marino got up from the table, we just slept in and kept his seat warm. And then... All right, should we jump into another
Let's jump
story?
into another story.
Let's do it. This
Yes.
was sent in by Liz Haggerty at Liz Haggerty. Liz, you're great. Thank you.
She's awesome.
Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Shoplifter at Omaha store gets away but leaves behind completed job application.
Yeah.
Not the way you wanted to.
No.
He stole my heart.
Did you get what you wanted? Yeah. So you're free? I am, but I'm hoping they call me to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
A 20-year-old Bellevue. Go ahead.
It's not a bad way to get a second interview.
That's right.
It's very and be memorable. You will definitely stand out. Your application goes to the top of the pile.
What do they say? Always leave something at a place you want to return to.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of
Or-
reversed it.
Leave your
Yeah, it's the reverse.
leave all.
Well,
of
he
your
did leave his
information.
resume.
And his social.
Okay.
It took about 5 minutes Monday for store detectives to determine the name, address, and phone number of the man they say walked out of Shields Sporting Goods store at Village Point without paying for a. How much do you think a bottle of cologne cost at Shields Sporting Goods in Omaha, Nebraska?
First things first.
Doesn't say the brand.
Doesn't say the
it
brand.
does not say the brand.
What is it?
It is. He walked out of Shields Sporting Goods in Omaha, Nebraska, without paying for a bottle of cologne, and they give the total amount.
If
I
I
just
know-
love the idea that they're selling cologne. at
That's
this
my.
sporting
That's
goods.
where. That's where I get all my cologne.
Where do you get your cologne? Big Five.
Right, the car wash.
Models.
Yeah. You
Right.
smell good. What is that?
When you think of smelling good, you think of sporting goods.
Well, if the only cologne they sell was Derek Jeter's cologne, that would be it. Like, remember he came out with the Jeter cologne,
And then our joke was that Candy Maldonado should have come out with a cologne called Candy, and then people would start drinking.
But
it
wait.
thinking it's candy.
Doesn't it seem like I know they solved the crime in 5 minutes,
Sure.
but doesn't it seem like that's kind of a long time
even
for them
still,
to read?
To read a paper.
5 is too long. Like,
They
don't
re-
pat
I mean-
yourself on the back.
They really have to like sound it out as they're going.
100%.
Where did he put that? Is this the application? A lot of my glasses aren't on. I'm holding it away from me. I'm holding it really close.
Make sure that address is real.
Is that a 4 or is that a 7?
That was a big hang up. That was a big hang up.
Lieutenant, is that?
Is that an 8 or a 6?
They're pouring over the wrong
No, that's
information.
what I love too. The lieutenant that might we're like, Sarge, thanks for coming down. Look, we're here, but we are in a big argument if that is a O or a 0.
We are having a heated debate about his contact information, his emergency contact.
So it's Shields and Yarnell Sporting Goods.
Yep.
Sure. How much do you think a bottle of cologne?
Michael, what do
can
you
go
think?
First,
You can
take
go
or third?
first in the middle or the third.
I'm going to say $129.
Okay.
I'm going high.
That's good.
Okay.
By the
That's
way,
like essentially
that's
three.
3 times more than it would cost
4.
to
Yeah.
show. No, 3 times.
Yeah.
There are
It
gold.
better because it better be a really good cologne to earn a spot in my sporting goods store.
That's right.
Okay.
If you're taking up shelf space, where the athletic supporters are, this better be good. All right, Jay, what do you think?
There are gold flecks inside of the flecks of gold. I'm going to say $49.99.
Okay.
I'm going to say $89.99.
Okay. I will tell you, he walked out without paying for a $40 bottle of cologne.
Ooh, I was close.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
A loss prevention manager at Shields told the Omaha police that he was watching as the man selected a box. Ooh, we do have the brands.
What is it?
A box of St. James of London cologne.
Oh, St. James of London retails for about $40.
Had you known, you would have been
Had
right on it.
I been aware that it was St. James of London, I would have been right on it.
It's like St. James of London is like English leather.
Yeah.
Like,
Or-
just put London or England in there, and people are going to think it's high quality.
St. James of London thinks that it reminds you of someone who doesn't know anything about London, but is like, we need to make this sound as British as possible.
That's like when you drive by a rundown apartment building, and it's like Canterbury Arms, and you're like, that just, it's so sad
Right.
here.
And there's no gate.
Right. Isn't it Canterbury Tales, too?
Yes.
Like, it's a mistake.
So the man selected a box of St. James of London cologne and strolled, which is a fun little embellishment, strolled into
That's
another.
editorial. That's editorializing.
know.
Here. Stick to the facts.
Yep.
But by the way,
Sauntered out the front door.
Strolling tells you exactly what went on.
Right. Also, stroll. I mean, if you're a St. James of London man, that's how you walk places. He's got that St. James smell to his stride.
Yeah, you saunter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Right.
If this isn't an ad for St. James of London cologne, I don't know what is.
Also, here's another weird thing. They say he strolled into another department at about 12:15 p.m. What does that timestamp matter? At what time? Well, he went into another department.
It was his lunch break. He went to the sporting goods store
Mm-hmm.
to apply for a slightly better job.
That's right. Yep.
And
It
thought,
says here,
I'll just help myself to some St. James of London on the way out.
Right. That's right.
It says the
Stroll
man
out of here.
surreptitiously slid the bottle of cologne out of the box and into his pants, the
Yeah.
Shields worker said.
Yeah.
The shoplifter then returned the box to its place on the shelf and strolled out of the store before employees could stop him.
How much do you think he, as he slipped it out of the box, made a whistling noise?
He's strolling. Yep.
I'll take that.
The man's first mistake was driving away in his father's Toyota Camry, which is a great children's book, Father's Toyota Camry.
right.
This is not your father's Toyota. Actually, it is. This actually is my father's.
My father's Toyota Camry.
His first mistake was driving away in his father's Toyota Camry slowly enough to let an employee write down the car's license plate number.
But Jay, just to go down on that road, what if the current Toyota Camry that his father had was billed as not your father's Toyota? This is not your father's Toyota Camry.
Right.
That is my father's Toyota Camry.
Correct.
His bigger mistake was filling out an employment application when he arrived. The loss prevention manager told police that while reviewing surveillance video of the incident, he noticed the man had completed a job application. The man's name, age, phone number, and place of residence matched information police had gathered during numerous early arrests. He loves to steal. He's a London man. A still photo from the video also matched his mugshot. Monday afternoon, the 20-year-old male made it easy for police to find him. He returned to the store for a job interview. They called him up and said, "We want you." And he said, "I'll be there tomorrow."
And I'll smell great.
I'm gonna smell awesome. I'll stroll in about 1 tomorrow.
This is what I love. We talked about embellishment. This is how it's written here. Monday afternoon, the 20-year-old made it easy for police to find him. He returned to the store for a job interview. New line, and it just says, "Really?" Someone from Shields called police to say the man was back. Officers arrived and arrested him upon suspicion of shoplifting and then searched the car he was driving, his father's car. They found the bottle of cologne in plain view and some drug paraphernalia, then cited him on suspicion of drug paraphernalia. A 22-year-old who was also a front passenger in the seat was also cited for drug paraphernalia. Don't drag anybody else into this.
This guy, come on. He's just keeping the Camry warm.
Right. They also found a bong, and the guy said that the bong was his. That's story number 2.
Ooh. Here's the question, Michael. Did he get the job?
I know. Look, we want to hire you.
Like, what if they hired him for loss prevention? You're like, you know how it's done.
Imagine him in the interview. He's like, "You want to?"
I'm clearly an expert. But he left the cologne in the car?
Yes.
Like,
But
why?
what if he did?
Once you
Everybody
have-
knows. Well, go ahead.
You really want to risk leaving your St. John's of London in the car
I know
overnight?
it's very easily affected by temperature.
But I was going to say, people don't realize that it's stronger when you leave it in the heat.
The great thing people don't realize, St. James of London, you can cook with it.
You can.
Yes.
You can.
Yes. It also works for like pine tar on a bat.
Come on. What's
Yeah.
tease us a little bit on the final story.
Okay, when we come back for the third story, we have something that's been sent to me so many times. It's the craziest disguise to rob a convenience store.
I love it. Michael Ian Black is with us. I can't wait to get into it. Dumb People Town. Don't go anywhere.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, Randy and Jason here, and whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to. You don't want to catch like glimpses and little snitbits of like what
Snitbits?
you know
Or
what I'm talking
tidbits
of what your kids are listening to or anyone else. Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, but before you go dropping hundreds of bucks on a pair, you need to check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon. They're amazing. I've got my Raycon earbuds. They cancel out everything. Raycon earbuds start for about a half price of the other ones, premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing as the top audio brands. You know, the newest model, the everyday E25 earbuds are their best ones yet. Jay, I love these so much.
I'm using it nonstop, Brand.
6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth playing, more bass, more compact design, gives you a nice noise isolating fit.
I like that if you have one of them in, you can just use one of them.
They're stylish and discreet. I love these so much. Now's the time to get a pair of the latest and the greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off your order by raycon.com /Starburns. That's by BUY Raycon.com RAYCON.com /Starburns for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. I love these earbuds so much. I know you do too.
I'm all about them, man. They're my reach. You know what you feel when you reach for them, and that's the thing you reach for. And that's my hike. Those are my hike earbuds.
Those are my walking earbuds. Buy BUYRAYCON.com /Starburns for 15% off.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Let's get into this last story, Dan. Take us home, buddy.
Here we go. This was sent in by Mark Marcus at Mark Marcus.
Double M.
C's, not K's. A man who wore a watermelon on his head while stealing from a convenience store has been arrested. Michael, have you seen or heard about this story?
The Watermelon Bandit, yeah.
Okay, right. I am gonna Jay.
We heard this.
I'm gonna show you the picture of these two. It's two guys.
So when we first heard this story, because Jay and I did hear this story, because it was sent around a lot. Our first thought was, it's nice to see Gallagher working with his brother again.
That's great.
You know, because they had a whole beef there for a little.
I know.
Yeah, you got to bury the hammer.
Gallagher one bequeathed his act to his brother,
and then hated each other for it.
Can you imagine that? You just bequeath your act to another family member.
I wish you would stop saying bequeath. It's really unseemly.
It is uncomfortable.
What are you, strolling?
He bequeathed his moist comedy.
Right.
A pair of melon heads, yes, actual people with watermelons on their heads, caused quite a stir after they used watermelons as face masks to allegedly steal from a convenience store.
At least
in a
they're wearing
small Virginia
masks.
town.
At least they're wearing masks in this town.
Very true. The duo pulled up in a lifted 2006 black Toyota Tacoma. I don't know what that has to do with it, but it tells me a lot.
That they stole a 2006 Tacoma.
And lifted
But
it.
paid retail for the melons.
Yes, they did.
100%.
That's right. You
Here's
go
the
full-
crazy thing. 2006, that's already like a 15-year-old
That's almost 15. That's
car.
a 15-year-old truck, right?
That'd be
there.
like you and me. Like, let's go back to 94, 95 when we started hanging out, having a 1980,
if you had an 1980
1979 toy. Like, people would say, get a new
It
car.
would be like we stole a 19.
Stole.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
It would be like Michael Ian Black, Jason, and I in New York City stole a 1980 Peugeot.
Those are good wheels.
And just drove around
Just
Time
drove
Cafe.
around Manhattan. Right.
Well, they pulled up in their 2006 Toyota Tacoma, assuming theirs for the moment, entered a sheet store in Lusa on May 5th, so this is their Cinco de Mayo, while wearing carved out watermelons with holes cut for their eyes.
Okay, so it is Cinco de Mayo. So what I'm going to assume is that those watermelons
Are soaked in vodka.
They were soaked in vodka. You ate them all out. And then what do? You turn it into a jack-o'-lantern, put some eyes in it, stick it on your head, and go
Go
steal.
rob
Well, you know how when the natives of this nation used every piece of the animal
That's right.
you.
It's true.
Thank
that
you.
they killed. If you have the watermelon already, you scoop out the melon part. All you've got left is the shell. You got to use it for something.
I mean,
you.
that
Very
is
true. Very
perhaps the
resourceful.
most resourceful use of a rind I've ever seen.
Eco-friendly criminals.
That's right.
Yes.
And also paying attention to social
Social
distancing
distancing and mask wearing.
I'm sorry.
There's some things to love here.
Right.
One of the
Yeah,
two
who's dumb? Who's dumb in this story?
That's right.
One of the two suspects was arrested on Friday. Police Chief Tom Leary confirmed to CNN. Police are still looking for the second suspect.
You see the picture. There's no way, unless you know the person's shirt, and I know that T-shirt,
Right, or you fill out a job application.
Or you fill out.
How mad was the New York Post that it was watermelons and not cantaloupes? Because they would have done cantadopes.
Still,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Can't.
good.
Well, like the human fingerprint, every watermelon has a distinct
Yes.
striation
Yes,
signature.
yes.
So and supermarkets are required by law to record every striation on their melons for just this reason.
This is it.
You don't want to be liable for it.
You don't want to be liable, and it is like a fact dating. It is like a barcode. That's
right.
It's God's barcode.
Yeah, exactly.
Watermelon
God's barcode.
striation is God's barcode. I've said it. I've put it out there. Thank you, Michael Ian Black.
It is a brilliant disguise.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, but it is very good.
What
they
did
can't
they
tell anything
steal?
about your
Do we know
face.
what they steal? I forgot what
They
they
were
stole.
arrested and been charged with wearing the mask in public, committing larceny, underage possession of alcohol, and petty. They spelled it weird here.
Petty larceny.
of alcohol, because one of the persons they caught was 20. This is definitely not something you see very often, which means you've seen it before.
So this should be like, we've never seen it. I
Right.
don't know what you're talking about. No one's ever walked in with a watermelon on your
Then
head.
he goes on to say, this is Chief Leary, we're a really nice, quiet town with a lot of hardworking people, and something like this is pretty unusual. I don't know. If you said hardworking and these people made masks out of watermelons, I would say they're hardworking in your town too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're creative. They're out of the box thinkers.
Yeah.
Agreed. Candace
And
went.
It's not his fault. He's only 20. He can't buy booze.
Yeah. They're out of the melon thinkers.
Candace went a Sheets customer. I love that she just interjected to
Sheets
this.
is the name of the store.
Yes, and
She's not just like a person who only shops for sheets.
no, she's a Sheets customer with a Z. She told CNN affiliate
Wait, just tell me that. What's the name of the store?
Sheets.
That fits.
There you go. She told CNN affiliate WIRC that she thought using melons as a face mask is ridiculous. Well, nobody asked your ass, Candace.
Yeah, what makes you an expert?
Right.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
Where's your degree in criminal justice?
right, she
Thank
probably
You
has
work
like
at
a
Sheets.
co-ed naked T-shirt like tied around her face as a mask. She's not even trying.
Right.
The amount of work you have to do. Oh, this is still Candace.
Yeah.
The amount of work you have to do to actually hollow out a watermelon to stick it on your head, I think, is kind of crazy. Why? Why would they do that? It's so stupid. Well, half of them got away, so now you know why they would do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you had a 50% chance of getting whatever you wanted from the convenience store when you're not old enough to buy liquor,
By the
go
way,
for it.
how sticky would your hair be for the next week? Even
Oh,
I think it smells great. It would be like washing with Garnier fruit toast. Or whatever it's called.
Garnier fructose.
Is that the new St. John's of London? No, it's a watermelon.
Yeah, it's Garnier.
Fresh
Is that Garnier
watermelon.
fructose? No, it's just fresh.
Oh,
There you go.
fresh
That's the
watermelon.
story.
That's our third story, friends.
I love it. Michael Ian Black, what other things can people consume of yours out into the world? Anything or no?
I'm unemployed and unemployable.
Okay.
I don't believe any
don't
of
believe
that.
that.
I don't
either.
believe any of that. We'll always put you in everything that we do. You know that. If we ever get another project.
Third,
Here,
a third
I'm going to
project.
make this promise to you because we just love playing with you so much. The next time, and I don't know when that's going to be, we come to do this show live at the Bell House in Brooklyn. We're going to make you drive down to the city and come be a guest on the live show. Will you do that for
All right.
us?
Of course.
That'd be great.
Of course. I say that and I mean it
Like 40%.
at 40 to 50%.
Okay.
40
Well,
to 50%.
That's a promise I will take.
That's more commitment than you've ever given us in the past.
But realistically, when do you think people will be allowed to congregate anywhere?
About a
again?
year.
I'd
a
say
year.
next summer.
next
spring, summer. Yeah.
Okay, so any promise I make to you now will not be binding. So I 100%.
Fantastic. Just my only thing is that if you move, you give us your new address. Michael Ian Black, we love you. Thanks so much for doing the show. And
Thank you, Randy.
Oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio.
A podcast network.